Welcome back to the Healing Chamber Podcast. This is Layla Rose, and today the topic is Hell is not knowing you're a goddess. So, this specific topic was actually brought to me through a vision that I had recently, and I kept on hearing that phrase over and over. And then I was shown Atlantis. And I haven't really researched about Atlantis, so I know a little bit about it, but I don't know the backstory, and I've heard different stories as well that were kind of contradictions as well. So this is strictly from the vision that I had. And so what I was shown is that through this timeline, most people were gods and goddesses on earth. All right. So the city was, very high vibrational. Like everything was, high vibrational, basically. What I was shown is that a lot of people during that timeline abused of their power and their wisdom, right? Because when you're a god or goddess, you can get what you want. And people that are very advanced know that they can also manifest and create things without getting any karma. So there was a lot of abuse. People would use their power to hurt other people as well. It wasn't as bad as now, but it was different, right? It was different because back then, the society was based on the solar system and the moon. So it was a combination of the moon and the sun, which is also how it was back in ancient Egypt as well. But after that period of time, what happened is that the Saturnian system was actually brought into society to give people their karma. So Saturn is the planet that's connected to discipline, obviously karma as well. And it's a non-emotional planet, right? Saturn is not concerned about emotions compared to Venus, for example, which is connected to the heart chakra. So Saturn is all about the root chakra, which is really about, discipline, consistency, the law and structure and architecture. So it's very rational, very linear. I'm not quite sure who replaced the two systems, but anyway, this is why, this is actually how hell was actually brought on earth, because what happens is that when people forget that there are gods and goddesses, they become a slave to their life. They become a slave to the system. They feel like they have no power. They also believe in duality. So they see, good people, bad people, the elite in power, and we are the peasants who have, no power and no money. And, this whole duality thing is also created by this, I would say, hell consciousness. What hell consciousness really is when someone forget that they're a god or a goddess, and they are controlled by their emotions and by the illusion of light. All right, because when it comes to science, we know that 96% of our universe is darkness, so there's only 4% light. So a lot of what we actually see when we're awake and conscious and is false, is an illusion. It's the matrix, right? And it feels very real. Trust me, I'm not dismissing how real it feels. Depending on the situations, sometimes it's easier to transcend the outer circumstances. It's easier to just focus on the higher vision and the future and blah, blah, blah. But some situations are harder to master, which is the whole human experience, basically. So what I was shown as well on this timeline, let me see, because I took some notes. I was like, wait a minute, there's a lot of information. Okay, so when it comes to our vocabulary, when the Saturnian system was brought into our society, a lot of the words, right, because we know that words are spells, right? This is why it's called spelling. So for example, when we say hello, we have the word hell. Or when we say good morning, morning could also be written as mourning, which is morning. You're mourning, so it's like it's a morbid type of word, right? Instead of saying grand rising. Another word that was also brought into our vocabulary to bound us to hell on earth, basically, for those that are unconscious, obviously, is the word healthy, right? Because when you say you're healthy, you're basically wishing hell upon yourself, because hell thy. So instead of healthy, we're supposed to say, I'm wealthy, I'm well, right? So there's a lot of little tricks like that they put into the vocabulary to program people, because it's a subconscious programming. How many times do you say hello in a day, or good morning, and I want to be healthy? Like, those are words that people use a lot. And so it's really I don't know, it's mind-blowing to see how deep this programming has been brought upon us, basically. So that's the whole story that I was shown through this vision. But obviously, heaven on earth, basically what it means is when someone not only understand that they're a god or goddess, but they can also start applying it and creating their reality. So instead of looking at a situation and be like, oh my god, this is horrible, what am I gonna do, blah blah blah, this is hell. Like, when someone is experiencing hell on earth, they are owned by their emotions, and they are owned by the false light, by this illusion, by what they're seeing, by the outer circumstances. So the opposite of that would be heaven on earth, when someone knows they're a god or goddess, when they actually transcend the outer circumstances by focusing and putting their energy into creating something different, creating a solution. Because when you work with darkness, you become your own source. So you can bring solutions to yourself. And the best way to work with darkness and source, or the void, or however you want to call it, consciousness, is actually, so let's say you're going through something, right? You don't know what the solution is. There is an ocean of solutions. So instead of, because you might think, oh, this might be the solution, right? But this is based on your human avatar. This is not based on your God self. So what you want to do is you want to visualize yourself out of that situation. All right? So let's just take like a very random example. Let's say you want to manifest a free cup of coffee. All right, let's start with just something random and small, because a lot of people sometimes when they think it's like more expensive or higher, they think it's harder to manifest, but it's the same process. But most people think they can manifest a cup of coffee better or easier. So let's say you want to manifest that, right? So instead of thinking, okay, well, it could be my neighbor or someone on the street, blah, blah, blah. Instead of focusing on, because there is an ocean of solutions. So instead of that, you want to go into the darkness and you want to focus on yourself, drinking that free cup of coffee that somehow landed into your hands. So you're actually allowing your God and Goddess self to bring the highest, best solutions to you, right? Because it's always going to bring you the they call it, the way that's, that has the least resistance. So you just have to focus on how are you going to feel when you're going to manifest that cup of coffee in your hand. How is it going to taste? Or let's say matcha, whatever, however, tea, whatever you drink. So you want to focus on drinking that beverage basically, and what does it make you feel like, and does it make you feel powerful as well, because you just manifested something out of nowhere. So these are just ways to work with darkness instead of like really focusing on the solution. Because yes, if you focus on a specific solution or a specific person, you're going to be able to manifest them, and you're going to be able to manifest that specific solution. But let's say there was something better, but your human mind could not see it. Maybe something better was out there, and you just focus on this like one solution. So instead of doing that, you just want to focus on the end result, right? Let's say you're going through a legal case, you want to focus on winning that legal case. So however the universe wants to like bring it to you, you just want to focus on feeling good and feeling the highest emotion, feeling like, you already won. So however it's going to bring it to you, like you just never know how this can be brought to you basically. So yeah, so that's it for today's episode. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, suggestions as well for next episodes, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.